So, starting up, before, like, there are some folks that are already in, Mirabar, right? Okay.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and move to the folks who are in Mirabar for the moment. Krifa, we'll check in with you in just a sec. So while you're in Mirabar, there is one very quick encounter that I want to have with you, and then I will let you two describe what you want to do. So as you're meandering around, you get there, and you hear a familiar voice. You're not quite sure where you place it from, but like you hear Calder? Oh golly, oh gee, Calder, it's good to see you again. Oh man, it's been so long. And you turn and you see a tabaxi approaching you.
Oh, you.
Now, this tabaxi does not look the same as he did a little while ago. For one thing, he's wearing an eye patch.
Oh no!
And armor, and has a lap harp case on his back. And he approaches you with the same sort of gormless smile that he had when you first hired him to go take a message to Meepo and the Sunless Citadel kobolds. And he sort of bounds up to you. Go ahead.
I could hardly recognize you. I'll tap the side with the eye patch. That's new.
Yes, it is. It's been some time. It's good to see you all again. So yes, I went to the Sunless Citadel and I delivered your message and I got it done. And then on my way out, I may have slipped into a wee tiny crevice, and I may have fallen for a little while, and I may have wandered around for some amount of time. And then I was taken by some very dark-skinned elves who wanted me to do things for them. And then I did some things for them, and me and my friends tried to escape a couple of times, but then they took us back, but then we tried to escape again, and I'm pretty sure I spent some of the time in another plane, but then someone who looked just like you came and rescued me. Not just like you, but very close.
It hasn't even...
Yes. When I was down there, when I was still captured, when I was still working for the Dark Elves, Anton came and saved me. And he saved Chomper over here as well. Chomper's very shy. I don't know if he speaks common or not. He might just not want to talk at all. But he's over there. He's looking at us from the shadows in a very creepy way. And he and I both owe our lives to someone who says he's your dear brother. So I wanted to say I'm very, very glad that your brother came and rescued us. We work for him now. Yeah,
that does not sound like Anton. Not gonna lie, that does not sound like Anton.
We've gone on all sorts of adventures.
It hasn't even been a month since we first met you in Waterdeep. That's a lot to happen.
Are you sure it was Anton? That does not sound like him. Del, sure, but not Anton.
He sort of counts on his claws and he says, I have no idea how long it's been. I'm sorry.
I'm glad to see you're alive and in front of us right now.
Chomper, you wanna come say hi?
I try to see Chomper wherever Chomper's hiding.
There is a fairly hefty looking lizard folk standing kind of in the corner, sort of lurking. He's not like looming, but he's definitely staying away from everybody.
Sorry, I just saw the almost cat ass and like good save.
Yeah, we'd have to censor that. That might not get past the filters. Keep your cat ass effectively hidden.
My favorite part is his head doesn't show when I move my hand over. Magic.
So
yeah,
we're both helping out King Barnabas, right? So we'll be working together, yeah?
That's my hope.
Yeah, so are you...
We're doing some errands now, but...
We'd love to touch base with the other Adbar forces that are here in Mirabar. Do you know where they're all staying?
Oh, yes, of course. They're staying at the inn. That's the inn. I don't have a name prepared. But I don't think
is it a franchise?
I don't think Dream the Bard would know the name of the place anyway.
Bowl.
Just sort of pointing off. The Bread Bowl. I love it. Bread Bowl is a perfect name.
Not what I said, but it's also
But that's what I came
fine.
up with.
Yeah. Follow Dream, go check in with the Advar dwarves. I mean, we're here to help touch base and establish the supply lines, right? So this is kind of an in for that. Should we, this is me out of character asking Jeff, should we also try to like ply information from Dream about what your brother's up to?
I'm just getting over the fact that I'm just processing the very concept of Anton saving anyone. Are you sure that you didn't he didn't take money from you?
He took money from the elves that were holding us. I don't know that he was there for us, but we were there and he was there and he took us back to
Was he
safety.
dressed? What color was his sigil? Blue or red?
You're gonna have to give me a little bit of context before I can answer that.
Dell's sigil is blue. Anton's is red.
Oh no, it was definitely red. Yeah, this is really actually Anton that did this thing. Though you are absolutely certain that, obviously he did it for some kind of his own reason, right? Obviously.
Yeah, it's like
it is very out of character. Yes.
It's out of character to the point where Calder goes, nope. It must have had an ulterior motive. Must have been an accident. I don't know. Don't know it. Don't trust it.
But yeah, I mean, as long as we're here to talk to them, Echo's going to try to, Dream doesn't seem very hard to get talking about anything, but try to use the conversation to get any information they can about what Anton and his group are up to currently.
Give me a persuasion check, which I'm going to contest with deception. He's still a bard after all.
Yeah. Should I use the advantage on this?
It is the first.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, you got it. You get the advantage on it. So.
Oh, good.
So glad you did it.
So, Dream appears completely gormless. He appears completely gullible, completely naive, and he will chatter and chatter and chatter, and it'll take you several minutes to realize that despite what you have been trying to sort of goad him into saying, he just continues to chatter on about irrelevant nonsense. So you try to pin him into telling you what Anton might actually want or something along those lines. And he's like, oh yes, Anton, his armor is really shiny. And there was this one time when it wasn't shiny because it had blood on it, but then we cleaned it off and then it was shiny again.
All right. So whether intentional or not is keeping the conversation away from anything actual, pertinent.
Indeed.
Okay. Cool. Crossing that name off as a trustworthy source.
With Dream, check in with the Advar dwarves.
I ask him what's his present assignment.
His present assignment is to. Well, at this point, he's in Mirabar. He's just supposed to try to make friends, basically. He wants to make sure that everyone in Mirabar is sort of friendly toward the dwarves in the north. He doesn't have a specific task. He was just sent down here to sort of make people be more positively disposed towards this army that is camping only a few miles north. And to sort of spread the word and spread the story of the orcs coming down from the north and the brave dwarves and adventurers who are going to stand against this evil. And Mirabar patrons are kind of like, we're not worried about it, but okay, you do you. What else we got? What are we doing while we're here?
So while in Mirabar, Echo and Calder, I'm not quite sure, I know Calder had his, Lord's Alliance connections to lean on a little bit to help with establishing the supply lines. Echo doesn't really have any of that. But I know, too, we wanted to also, while we were here, use the Harper circles to pop back over to Silver Moon and check in with, I'm forgetting his name.
Thomas?
Thomas, our Harper contact.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's start with this Lord's Alliance contact. Jeff, tell me a little bit about how you want now. For clarity's sake, there's going to be about 2 weeks and change, and a week in Faerun is, I believe, 10 days.
Yeah.
So there will be about 20, I think 23 days is what we settled on between last game and the events of this session. So
Sure.
tell me a little bit about how Calder is leveraging his contacts with the Lord's Alliance to try to secure supplies for these dwarves.
The Lord's Alliance is notable as a aggressively defensive group. They are they're very happy to be able to direct their militaries to proactively remove threats before they're a thing. I will say, hi, this is a threat worthy of your attention. And I will in fact lean on their lordly pride by talking about how royalty has been assaulted in public, and how these are forces that are infiltrating with assassins and targeting nobles.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely get their attention. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a persuasion? Go ahead and take advantage and take a +3 for your 3 levels of Lord's Alliance reputation.
Okay.
So if you have to add in the +3 mentally, that's fine, because I know it only gives a +2 or a +5.
Weirdly, it gives a +5 and a -2.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
So that'll work. And advantage and persuasion and
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
take the 23.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So yeah, with a 23, yeah. So we'll go ahead and say that multiple noble houses understand the nature of the plight. You'll note, however, and do you send any direct message to your father?
No. I am
Okay.
assuming that if Anton's here, that will be father's response.
Fair enough. So yes, you are able to get multiple noble houses to pledge like the production of their lands to help feed these dwarves. And all they ask in return is for you to sort of keep tabs on what's going on up there, and if there are business opportunities in the future, just remember who helped you.
I will also send a side letter to a lord that I've made a point to mentally categorize, and inform him of an ankylosaur of a family of ankylosaurs that we found in this territory, and that he should take them in and to gently protect them. They make excellent herding animals, and they're extremely docile. But there's a new nest, and it is a threat if the young are threatened. So please do not do that.
Excellent callback to a previous random encounter.
And politely inform him that I will be checking in on them.
Your reputation precedes you. That seems reasonable to me. Plus, it is, after all, if nothing else, a curiosity. So, Calder uses connections. Echo, you wanted to use your connections with the Harpers, and specifically Thomas, to try to get your hands on some magical items, yes?
Yeah, so I think once we've done the starting bit, like sending out the initial messages and checking in with the dwarves in Mirabar, Echo and Calder would go to where the secret Harper Circle was, but that they took here, explain who they are to whoever's keeping guard, and go back through to Silver Moon to update Thomas.
Okay, let's go ahead and run that really quick. Actually, no. Let's pause because I've looked at the two of you for a little while. Let's go back to Krifa and Vic. You have about 2 weeks and change to work with. How are Vic and Krifa spending their downtime?
Krifa. He's so heavy and hot. Krifa will be spending whatever downtime she has from not working on Goodberry to a mixture of keeping an eye on Bouldershoulder in a very probably annoyingly sneaky manner. I've got fur all over my face, y'all. This is. And then working with Vic on what Vic's doing.
Okay, so you are being very sneaky, but very not sneaky about making sure that Bouldershoulder is
Yeah.
always protected. That's fair.
Yes.
Em, what's Vic up to? I believe you're crafting
So-
some stuff, yeah?
Yeah, so Vic is going to set up a mini forge, and unfortunately have to put away the sign about free carriage rides because I need that carriage for stuff. And it's basically going to pop a tent and not put out the usual like horses shoed here sign that she normally does, and is just gonna be like, if there's gonna be a small sign that says Smith at work, do not bother me. Like, it's gonna be very like, there's a dog, it's a metal dog just sitting there, just like occasionally growling at anybody who walks past.
Except Krifa, because Krifa's going in.
And Krifa's not a person though, so like Krifa can come in and out as she and
Yeah.
Stinky will. I'm assuming that that Lou and Stinky will both be sitting outside, just kind of like, what you doing around here?
They're the best of friends.
Fucking Lou. That's what I thought.
But I would
Um,
imagine that Durgadin is wanting to help Smith via Krifa's
So let's talk a
body.
little bit about Durgadin.
Yeah,
Durgadin
let's talk about Durgadin.
is a little bit leery of Vic still. And working with her is like, he wants to make sure you're involved. Like, he does not want you to like hand him off or anything like that. He's like, yeah, I mean, Vic, like, there's something different about her that doesn't quite jive with Durgadin. That said,
I don't think it would ever even cross Greetha's mind to hand Durgadin off.
you
at this
did to
point.
Barnabas, although admittedly that he's a dwarven king, so that makes sense.
He's a dwarven king, but so much has happened since then.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. So he's still a little bit cautious around Vic, but is absolutely fascinated by her skill. So he definitely wants to be involved in this. Yes. So what are we making?
So the primary thing that we're going to look at, side note, I was looking at the crafting rules, and the crafting rules are based on a 7-day week of five work days, a work week, instead of a 10-day week.
Got it.
In case if that changes things, for our figuring, which we did earlier.
Sure.
Because I know that we were going off of a 10-day work week. It was a work week as opposed to a 5-day work week was
Right.
a work week.
So we had, I believe we had figured that you could do like 2 uncommon items together, or like
Yes.
an uncommon and a couple of common items together.
If we do the switch to a 10-day work week, I would have the equivalent of 4 work weeks instead of only 2.
Got
is what
it.
I'm saying.
Right, if you
So it
work
would
yourself
double
all
my
the way through.
effectiveness.
That said, the
Instead
5-day work
of-
week does assume 2 days off. Yes, like
It does.
I'm worried that if you're working all the way through, we might have to start applying levels of exhaustion.
I mean, it could be broken down to 3 instead.
Let's go
if
ahead
that's
and say
okay.
3, without exhaustion. You could push
Without
for
it.
4, but you would end up that's pushing
Because I know
yourself
I
a bit
have
too hard.
3 extra days as well to like splice
Yeah.
in, but that works for me. In that case, the first thing that we're going to be working on is a mithril chain shirt, or a mithril armor of some type, sized small.
Right, for Krifa.
Krifa. So there's going to be some like, mostly making a lot of loops and then putting them together and hammering them together. It's just it's like time consuming.
Now, if I recall, rangers have access to light and medium armor. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I don't think I can have looped. I think we talked about doing a scale.
You could
I can't do a
technically-
chain.
I'm looking it up.
You could do up to half plate.
You can do up to half plate, but
Yeah.
it's up to your decks.
So
I
scale
think
mail.
we talked a lot about trying to keep any sort of disadvantages on Krifa as
Right.
well.
So the
because
nice
she's
thing about
new.
mithril The nice thing about Mithril is that the armor will not apply the A, it doesn't have a strength requirement, and B, it will not apply disadvantage to your stealth checks. So Scale Mail is an armor class of 14 plus 2 for Dex is 16. Let me pull up Half Plate really quick.
Half plate is 15 plus a dex mod of max 2.
Okay, so Half Plate is probably the better idea when it comes to armor class.
But then it takes down my dex mod because my dex mod is +3.
All
yes.
medium armor is +2 max on the dex mod. All of the
Yes.
medium armors have that.
So you are going to be if you go this way, you will be sacrificing 1 point of armor, but you're getting that armor class back from the armor itself, right? Like at the moment, if you
Your
have
total
like
AC with half plate would be 17.
yeah, and with
Yeah,
with studded
But
leather,
I'm losing
with studded leather, it would
my-
only be 15.
What is-
speed.
Using your what?
Well, it's a dex mod, right?
It's the Dex mod only for your armor class.
Only for Yeah.
Oh,
Only for-
okay.
Only for your AC.
I was very confused.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't want to be slower. This is Krifa.
No, and that's the nice thing about Mithril is you can actually get this
Okay.
sort of half plate armor without going slower because it's very light. It's very breathable. It's very sneakable.
Okay.
So that would be an armor class of 17. Not a bad idea. Up to
Okay.
you all, of course. Scale is also a thought. Chain is also chain is still medium.
Chain is as
Chain's-
heavy armor, but the idea of
Yeah.
in human world, scale mail is put together by chain links, by the way.
It is heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Uh,
chain armor and scale mail are basically the same thing.
Basically.
Scale mail is a little heavier. But that's considered not a heavy armor in D&D. So okay.
Yeah. Very weird.
I think they're making the assumption that you are going lighter on the mail because you're covering more with the scale. That it is assuming a lighter weave of the chain under the scales is my explanation for it.
That's fair. I mean, if you think about it, in all honesty, studded leather is actually what we would call in real world brigantine.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
This is not exactly like historically accurate, right? Let's not get that going. So a suit of medium armor would be an uncommon item. It wouldn't actually be magical, but it would be made of mithril. So the modifiers previously mentioned would apply. What else were you
Okay.
planning on making?
let's see. So I was intending to make a thing for Calder. It is not great.
I have to use the restroom really quick. Keep talking. I'll be right back. I already know what you're about to say.
So like needless to say, Krifa would have probably seen sketches that Vic has produced. It is mostly leather. A lot of the sketches at least seem to imply that it would be needed to be stitched onto Calder physically, a la surgery.
More
but-
interesting.
What?
I said interesting, and then I said more interesting.
It
She's
is-
definitely going to
it
have
is-
comments.
It is definitely very like fleshcrafty a little bit. There is like a space in it that could hold like a small knife or potentially a wand that is movable to an extent. That if like the it is going to be crafted. It is more leatherworking than smithing. And it's definitely something that would be like worn similar to a bracer, but probably hold like some sort of a small weapon or a wand as a way to keep hands free while still being able to wield it.
Okay.
Definitely.
This is where I will, if Calder overhears of this, he will politely remind, Vic that bracer is a slot that is within the equipment package. It's,
Well, one, Calder's not there. Two,
but I'm not there to have this comment. So
We're making it. It's gonna be great. It'll be fine. We're just gonna,
sure.
it's
I
just-
think I would definitely have a moment where like she'd be looking at these pens and We're not going to have to do this with my armor, are we?
Well, so I mean, the leather that we're working with here could be dyed to a different color if Calder decides that he doesn't want it.
I don't
so
get
other-
that, but I'm talking about the part where it looks like it's supposed to be sewn to it. I mean, how does it attach? I mean, how does it?
Vic will pick up the mechanical attached leather bit, and we'll like basically put it over her arm and go. So what happens is it'll be stitched on here. It's removable. It's removable, okay? But stitched on here, and then with some magic.
Stitched on what? Are we talking? We're not doing this with my armor.
No. This is for Calder if he wants it,
Or
other person if Calder doesn't want it.
But go him. He may be into that type thing.
So as a quick note, this is normally a Warforged only item that allows the Warforged to basically put a wand within their wrist so that they can use it without using a hand slot. But M and Vic have decided that maybe this does not have to only be a Warforged item. Maybe it could be made for a person, and that's where we're at right now.
Artificers, y'all.
Yo, we're fucked up.
See, I was thinking it was like the Assassin's Creed Ezio, like you have to cut off your middle finger.
You would
hidden
think
blade
that,
thing.
wouldn't you? You would like to think that too, but no.
You have that item, but this is for a
Wait.
wand because Calder uses wands, not
was the
tiny
same as
knives.
When has Calder ever used a wand in Vic's presence?
When has Calder ever had a wand to use?
I mean, the
Exactly.
entangle wand, but
Yeah, that was way before Vic, though.
true.
Going to
So
And is there another item?
okay,
or
so
is it-
so hold on. We got mithril armor. We've got
Yeah.
horrible internal bracer. We've got so that's an uncommon and a common item, right? The bracer is actually a common item. So you've still got probably another common item that you could make if you wanted to.
I could hypothetically, if I have 3 weeks and I have Krifa's help, I could make 2 uncommon and 2 common.
So what else you thinking?
Let me check something.
And by
I just-
Krifa's
I need
help,
to-
we certainly mean Durgaden.
I want to make a bag of holding.
Are you killing your child for that?
No. I want to make a bag of holding.
Oh, you're actually gonna make one. Okay, sure.
Oh, Krifa could
I'm not
sew.
going to kill my
Krifa
child
could
for a bag of
sew.
holding when I can make a bag of holding out of a backpack.
Krifa's going to make bag of holding for you. It will have frog on it. It will be absolutely
Excellent.
fantastic.
And then for my last uncommon item before I go into like wiggly bits is I want to make a glass sphere that isn't really a glass sphere. It's kind of like stretchy, kind of like I made a giant like a chewing gum bubble.
Sure.
That it's like kind of tacky on the outside a little bit. So like, you can palm it like a basketball if you had big hands and knew how to palm basketballs.
And this bubble.
Basically is if Krifa asks, Vic will say, I'm going to try something with your body. Do you consent?
You're not sewing this thing to me, are you?
I'm not sewing it onto you. No.
Will it hurt?
It will not hurt.
Is it permanent?
It's not permanent. And you
Alright.
won't drown. And she's gonna shove her fingers into the bottom of this like sphere and is going to pull a hole open, pop it over Krifa's head, and shove her underwater.
I am now the world's best party balloon.
So
You-
as your head goes underneath this convenient body of water that now
And I
exists,
scream.
you
You're in the
scream.
pony trough.
You
No,
scream.
it's just like a trough of
You-
water.
So you scream, and then you breathe in, and you're able to scream again. And you're underneath the water in this trough, and you're like, huh, I can breathe and scream just fine.
This is
Make a dex save to try to get out.
Is it
Sure.
like skin tight? Is she
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
jerk?
like it seals. It seals around her neck.
So for the sake of the visuals,
Amazing.
I get out.
it is a sphere, very much in the direction of a diving helmet, except it's completely clear.
Nice.
It is outside of the water, kind of sticky when you touch it. But you can pull it off with like just some fingers underneath where the collar goes, and you can just pop it right off.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
And then it seals itself, so it's just like a big circle.
Yeah, the moment you take it off, it becomes like a sphere again. Yeah.
I figure it can also kind of like shrink down, kind of like a Pokeball.
A little bit, sure.
How'd you come up with this? What is? You are amazing.
So it's about like potion bottle size now, so you can like stick it in a potion bottle holder, so it's easy to get to. I figured it could work. You said there was a black dragon. I figured underwater maybe it might be useful.
Yes, there, it was underwater. Stinky did not mind, but the rest of us had to do stuff to not. It was very stressful. The dragons and being underwater, and it was. My hands got burned by acid. Don't I mean? Thank
Your
you.
hands
Are you
got
making
burned by
others?
ass.
Sid.
Oh,
The acid. Did you know that black dragons spit at? It's acid. It's acid.
There's a roll happening. That was
It was just an Arcana check to know if I knew about dragons.
a dirty 20 on an Arcana check. Yeah, you're aware of black dragons, and yeah, it makes perfect sense that she would have gotten burned by acid if she had encountered a black dragon. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's not great. Did you get fixed?
Yes. I was healed.
Physically.
It. It was the tongue, and I really am fine if that never happens again, ever.
That's probably foreshadowing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is there anything else that we want to do with Vic and Krifa before we move on to the other two?
There's a number of like I want to start making like a toolkit that I can gift to Krifa in the future, but that's not going to be finished anytime soon. I am going to make a handful of like arrowhead type things and like a really weird fucking knife. Actually a couple of really weird fucking knives, and I'm going to start fiddling with them. And like just it's mostly just like the scrap, like whatever scraps that we had. It's just going to be some like fiddly bits, and that's going to be mostly in the like in between days as like fun project.
Yeah, totally.
That
What
I
does
will
Durgadin think about being able to forge again?
Durgadin's enjoying the task. He's more used to like the armor is great. He loves A, making armor, and B, making armor for you. Like,
I'm
the
sure
fact
it's
that
hard though, because she's not strong like Durgadin was.
You
Like her
find-
strength is an 8.
You find that though your strength is lacking, you find that when it comes to swinging the hammer, A, you know just where to hit so that it minimizes the amount of effort on your part, and B, you find yourself in possession of a great deal of endurance. So you're not wrong that each strike doesn't shape the metal as much as it would, with someone who has biceps the size of your head, but you're able to continue on in a steady rhythm for long periods of time and almost lose yourself in the work. And like by the time you come to, you realize that you've made this beautiful thing.
That's really cool.
Your arm is really fucking sore afterwards, like
Oh,
like
no.
falling off sore afterwards. But while you are doing the work, you find that there is nothing else you would rather be doing in that moment.
This has to be the best bonding experience for both Krifa and Durgaden.
Oh, there's a
and
whole ass
Krifa
montage
and
there, I'm sure.
Vic, because Vic must be going, she's working at the
She's
forge
not
with me."
swearing at me constantly.
They're bonding.
Wait, I thought that's what friends do, though. Are we not friends anymore?
Shh, they're bonding. They're bonding. It's fine. They're bonding.
So supplies having been secured, let's go ahead and jump back to Echo and Calder. Now, you are heading to Silvery Moon in an attempt to procure magical items. Thomas is able to provide the name of a contact who can help you out.
I give him back the extra ring he gave us that we ended up not needing.
He looks back at you and looks back at it and says, "Are you sure?"
Our other teammate was very adamant that she was full up on magical items and would not need this, and it is what it is.
All right. So, what is it you are looking for? I might be able to point you in the right direction.
Looks at Calder.
Wands.
And she's saying something about a shirt, like an elven style something.
Elves have the best armor when it comes to magic users.
Thomas lifts his shirt and tinks at the elven chain shirt underneath his own clothing.
Yeah, one of those.
The chain I can find you relatively simply. Wands will have to come through a third party. But
In Silvery Moon?
yes, even here, such things are not, they're not bartered quite like your standard cows or lumber or anything like that. But you have come to the right place. He thinks for a moment, and he says, "Come back in 3 days, and I will have someone for you that can probably help you." So let's talk about 3 days worth of downtime.